And of course, probably a lot of people's most favourite beach in Torquay is Fisherman's Beach, because it was really the home of our fishing fleet. And at one stage during the early years of the new century, Torquay had a fairly strong fishing fleet and a ready market for fish not so far away in Geelong. And there's still a lot of people in Torquay that have their family history in the fishing fleet in Torquay. So some of these people have got names on them, but our fishing club is still strong, and we're lucky enough to have the new rooms down there for the fishing club fairly recently. So that's Fisherman's Beach. A quarter of Fisherman's Beach is what we call Yellow Bluff. So that, of course, is named after the very high yellow cliffs that are there, that you can walk around on the low tide, but they separate the two little bays. They separate Zealy Bay from the little bay in front of it. And on top of Yellow Bluff is Elephant Walk. So Elephant Walk, which pretty much is a common term now, is the picnic area on the bottom of Zealy Bay Road and Gilbert Street, the little bit of park there. And it's always been called Elephant Walk because always in the summer in Torquay we had a visit from the circus. It was an annual event, and it was very much looked forward to. And in fact, these pictures came to me because I collect historical pictures from someone who said the circus was coming from Moriac towards Torquay, and they got lost and they couldn't find Torquay, and so they had the animals out walking on Flaxbourne Road. So I thought, how am I ever going to find a picture of an elephant related to Elephant Walk? And I found this one. But this, in fact, was the circus coming to Torquay. And I found these other pictures just the other day of the circus camped ready at Torquay. So the first circuses used to camp behind Gilbert Street sort of facing Taylor Park. And then once the houses grew in there, they moved to Elephant Walk, and they came to Elephant Walk until they really stopped coming, until we stopped having real elephants. And of course, Elephant Walk then became very popular, I'm going to say in the 70s, as the really mass picnic ground for big groups of ethnic groups that would come down here for their annual picnic. And in particular, I remember the Greek people and the Italian people that would come down, and they would bring the whole day. They'd pack their cars and they'd have all this food, and they'd dance and they'd have music. And we locals used to go and look at them enjoying their picnic in our town, because it really was a lot more fun than we'd ever had. And I went to Elephant Walk just this last summer, and I went, oh wow, these people are picnicking again. And still the same enthusiasm, and still lots of people, but a little bit different ethnicity and different food. We've got falafels and shashliks now. We used to have the Greek food and the Italian food. But that was a really big day. And my memory says it was nearly always towards a long weekend towards the end of January, probably Australia Day. They said come. They would have, I think it was Australia Day weekend. But it was a whole day, and they were here until late at night, and they were like the spectacle, and we'd go down and watch them. So then we moved towards the front beach, and singularly the most memorable thing about the front beach were the bathing boxes that dotted the beach. And at one stage, around about 130 bathing boxes were along that front beach. And I look at these pictures, and it's the vegetation that's so different now it was all just in the dunes and in the marram grass. But we have a copy of the register of the bathing boxes, the bathing box book that was run by the trustees of the foreshore. They meticulously recorded who owned the boxes and how much they paid. I think it was 10 shillings a year to have a box, and box number 1 was owned by John Longueville Price, who was the first chairman of the TIA, and he owned box number 1. But each year in the log and the numbers of the boxes and who owned it and how much they paid, and in later years they gave the boxes names, so that was added into the record. Box number 37 was now called Pirate's Den or something like that. All the way up until the end of the Second World War. During the war, the beach was off limits. We were considered to be at risk from invasion from the Japanese, and the beach was wired off, and all the way along the front beach there was wired off, and we weren't to go down there, and the boxes fell into disrepair, and after the war it was pretty much decided that they should be removed. So, and in the bathing box register you can see that the people who loved their box so much, they lingered and lingered and lingered until they were about the last box left, that they didn't want to take it away. But certainly many, many Torquay families have wonderful memories of their childhood and their bathing box, and they knew their neighbours and their neighbours' box, and wonderful summers spent on the beach. And the very first Torquay Surf Club, in fact, was in a box on the front beach. They had a box, something similar to a bathing box, although the bathing box record records that they weren't charged for their box, that it was free, as was the, there was a ladies' change room, a box designated as a ladies' change room, and there was no charge for that. And there was also a box for children to change in, and there was no charge for that either. So, but at the end of each year in the book is a very careful reconciliation to make sure everything was squared off and there were no debts with the bathing boxes. So this was, in fact, the very first Torquay Surf Club on the front beach, sometimes referred to as the surf beach, because going across the back to the surf beach was considered to be quite dangerous, and not very often was the trek made over there. So, and I heard the other day on the top of this there was a flagpole, and later there was added a bell tower, a bell on it. I can't imagine how they got the bell on there, but there was a bell on there, and after the fires in 1940, people became aware that there was no warning signal, so they put a bell on top of this surf club box to act as a warning signal. So small was the town that if the bell rang pretty much on the front beach, everyone would hear it. So we have to have a lot of bells today. So, so that's the front beach, and of course, here's some pictures. Of course, in these days, these people playing on the front beach were playing amongst the wreck of the Scannell, and in fact, that's what this is here. This is the remnants of the Joseph Scannell that was washed in onto the front beach after it was wrecked in 1890, and it sat there for many, many years. And there's still some bits of the Scannell hidden that I know where they are. I won't reveal, but some bits of the Scannell. And of course, with modern technology now, one only needs to find a little piece of the timber, and it can be carbon dated, so they can tell us that in fact it was the timber off the Scannell. So that was the Scannell. And I put that picture in just to show how absolutely unbelievable it must have been that that ship ran aground, because looking at those pictures, the picture of Point Danger there, you can't imagine that the ship could possibly not make it through the heads. But of course, for those of us that live here, it was May, it was an easterly wind, and the ocean was wild. And the Scannell ran off the rocks just right on the very tip of the Point Danger. And it's a very significant part of our history, is the story of the Scannell. And many times I bless that the Scannell did happen to run across the rocks, because it gave us a special part of our history. And a lot of the towns down along the coast, especially down around Warrnambool, where there's a lot of shipwrecks, the Scannell's are ours. So, you know, and that's why we lament their misfortune, but we're glad that it happened now, years later. Of course, Point Danger is very special, a very special part of our town and our history, because it's where we have our Anzac service, the biggest Anzac service outside of Melbourne. And I can think of each Anzac Day when I'm there, I can never think of a better place to have Anzac Day than on Point Danger, looking at the sea, and it's so easy to recall what we're there for. It's so easy to stop and think that we're there for a very special day to share very special memories. And so that's Point Danger. Point Danger before a lot of development, by the look of it. Looks pretty bare down there. And at the bottom of Point Danger, I've turned the corner, sorry, is Cosy Corner. And Cosy Corner is the baby's beach, it's the mummy's beach, and it's where most of the Torquay's first generation tipped their toes in the water, because it was easy access, it's safe, and it was a gathering place. And certainly for me, with my children, that was where they learnt to swim, and then later on they learnt to surf. And these days at Cosy Corner, on a warm night after school, there's thousands of kids down there learning to surf, and all the dads are in the water, standing waist deep, pushing the kids on the waves. So they graduate from the little waves as they come into Cozy, and then the next season you'll see them a bit taller and the boards are a bit bigger, and they're out a little bit further out on the point. So that's our surfing nursery there, and a big part of our history is that Cozy Corner gives them that lovely, easy, comfortable introduction to the sport of surfing. So now I'm going around the corner. Oops, I'm pressing it the wrong way. To the back beach, always called the back beach or the surf beach. When I asked the social media gurus for some names, and of course once we start getting into the area where the surf is, the names came thick and fast. But I'm told as you turn the corner, I have to remember them because I get them wrong, is tubes. So the very first wave, you come round the corner from Point Danger, it's tubes, and then it's followed by Drainos and Zumos. And I got about 10 other names, but I could definitely cross-reference tubes and Drainos and Zumos. And sometimes when those big winter swells come in and Drainos is working, it's a really great place if you drive your car down and you can sit there in Carl Voss's car park and you can watch some pretty nice surf action. And it doesn't happen very often, you might only get it once a year, and some years you don't get it at all. But when the young guns start tackling Drainos, it's a fun thing to watch. So next time there's a big wave and you're in your car, going, oh, maybe Drainos is working today, I'll go and check it out. So, and then of course the magnificent stretch of our back beach, our surf beach. And this picture I loved, and I only found it not fairly recently, but it shows the back beach prior to the Olympics. So the little, I won't call it the original surf club because there was one on the front beach, but this is the early surf club building, and you can see the dunes, you know, the club's in the dunes. There's no sign of grassy knolls or grassy hills, and it's too hard for us to see to my eyes, I good enough. But in the background, there's near a house. There's nothing up in Janjuk there, not a house. So the exhibition that was the Surf Carnival in 1956 for the Olympics really was a game changer as far as our back beach went, because it meant that well, it meant two things really. It was a game changer historically as far as our surf industry goes, and it was a game changer environmentally, because I think we had on the weekend, the first weekend in December in 1956, some 50,000 people at the back beach to watch the exhibition of surfing. And the Californians and the Hawaiians were there, and they had short boards. Now, they weren't that short compared to what we have now, but they weren't 16 feet, and some of them were made of fiberglass. And so all the people that are now the captains of our surf industry in town had goggle eyes on these surfboards and these Californians and these Americans, and went, well, if we can't have theirs, we've got to copy them. And so a great deal of influence was made on young people here to copy those light boards. And so, and the dunes, of course, were grandstands and things were put in for this exhibition day. And when it was all over, a great deal of change was made to the look of the back beach. And I've got some pictures here. Oh, I forgot about haystacks. That one there's haystacks. So that rock sitting out from Rocky Point is haystacks, and there's a word at the back of that. But I had some pictures. This is just the surf club area prior to the Olympics, and very much a little surf club in the dunes, nothing like that we have today. Great changes there. And parking was never a problem at the beach because you just drove around and parked on the beach. It's a little bit like, you know, putting 50,000 people in the grandstands on the dunes probably wouldn't be acceptable today, and driving your car onto the beach. So if we're looking at this, the surf club's up here, so that's down by Spring Creek. And that was a common occurrence, nothing unusual. In fact, I can even remember when cars drove down there. So, and then the very corner of the point before I'm not going around to Janjuk today, was Rocky Point. So we've come from Point Impossible round to Rocky Point. And I'm going to finish up with that one because that is a picture of a young man who's in this group today enjoying some good old days at the Torquay Surf Club. Is that right, Joe? There we go. So up here standing up on the, is Joe Sweeney, enjoying some good days. So, So thank you for listening.